All right, let's talk about something that's keeping more manufacturing leaders up at night. What's the best CMS for manufacturers? Building e-commerce sites or any kind of landing pages? Seems very straightforward, but in reality, it is not, because manufacturing companies, right, aren't just throwing basic website with some product photos out there. Correct? You've got like complete product catalogs with thousands of products, thousands of SKUs, technical specifications that needs to be accurate down to the last decimal. Compliance documentation over that you will have distribution portals, custom pricing for different custom tiers, inventory integrations, detailed product configurators, lots and lots of things. Now, add to the fact that you have an engineering team who needs to update a spec in real time. Probably your sales team wants to say customize pricing presentation for different marketers or markets. Your marketing team needs to launch new campaigns without breaking the technical documentation. Your distributors need to access the latest product information, and all of this together, suddenly your CMS choice becomes a difference between like smooth operation and a complete chaos. Now, here's what nobody tells you, right? Most of the advice that's there about CMS platforms, written blogs, 500-page technical manual, or anything of that sort, right, will be very generic in recommendations. I mean, which works fine for some of the consulting firms, but it's not realistic in the way that it has been done and written and verified by people who have worked on it for a longer time, right? So it's very generic, it's over the top, that's there. So whether you're choosing a CMS for a landing page or evaluating CMS options to connect with, say, for example, Shopify, commerce tools, or commerce layer, this video is for you. Yeah, I mean, obviously, this video takes a very different approach. We are diving into what actually matters when you are a manufacturer, choosing a CMS, from handling complex product data to technical documentations to integrating with multiple systems, say a ERP or a CRM, supporting sales process, what actually moves the industrial products, a lot of these things. Now, before we head on to the major aspects of this whole video, let's look at who this video is for. Obviously, if you're a if you're a manufacturing executive, operations manager, marketing director, or any IT lead for a manufacturing company, right? This is for you, especially if you're building e-commerce platforms, landing pages that need to handle more than just basic product information. So this isn't your typical website builder A versus website builder B comparison. So it's much more than that. Um, let's look at why you should listen to me. I think this is a question that I've answered in almost all of my video, but here I am telling you straight up about my story. I've been building industrial grade web platforms for over a decade. My team specializes in this exact challenge. We aren't generalists. Let me emphasize the fact we are not generalists trying to figure out manufacturing on the fly. This is what we do day in and day out. We work with companies across the globe. We work with manufacturing companies ranging from precision machinery manufacturers to chemical suppliers to industrial equipment distributors. We are talking about real businesses with real challenges, companies dealing with everything from, say, FDA compliance document to complex product configurators. We've done it all. So Australia's largest welding manufacturer is also one of our clients, and let me just introduce you to them. This is Unimig, and we have built the complete front end, the CMS, the PIM, the e-commerce implementation, delivering a large-scale digital transformation. Happy to share any kind of results that you would like to see. We can get on a call and do that as well. Um, that brings me to the next part of it, which is I've already covered the Unimic part of it. Next part of it is the client overview, wherein you see big names, right? This is exactly what I'm talking about. We have worked with publicly listed companies to a lot of the big names in the market. There are also small names as well alongside that. But this is a client testimonial that we have received from our clients. They speak highly of the kind of work that we have done. Now, apart from this, right, you can also know that I'm one of those top rated developers on Upwork, both individually and through our agency, with specific expertise in manufacturing and industrial B2B platforms. links and proof descriptions will be provided. So obviously we've implemented solutions with over 10 plus headless CMS and 8 plus headless e-commerce, specifically for manufacturing companies dealing with complex products, catalogs, technical documentation, distributor networks, and unique challenges of B2B industrial sales. So this isn't theoretical. Let me clarify this again. Let me rephrase it again. Not theory, but practical experience is what comes into picture. We've seen what happens with manufacturers. We have seen what happens when they choose wrong CMSs. A lot of the issues pop up. Suddenly, their sales team can't update product specification. Their distributors can't access the current pricing. Their customers can't find technical documentation. A lot of issues, right? So let's, without any further ado, let's get into the CMS for manufacturers, more the blog. Like, I'm not going to touch base on a lot of things, but I'm going to touch base on the key aspects here. Now, firstly, let's get into the challenges manufacturing companies face when choosing a CMS, right? Obviously, be it regarding technical documentation, regulatory material, product catalogs, distributor resources, internal manuals, multi-language content, complex permission workflow, everything. Unfortunately, most content you find is overly focused on retail e-commerce software businesses. So, uh, when I'm going to the next part of it, which talks about open source flexible CMS, even before I'm talking about CMS, the reason why is obviously because you get full control over your data, obviously because of the APIs, it's scalable, it has scalable content modeling, custom workflows that can be designed. The option to self-host and extend features is also available. So, in the era of open source flexible systems, I think choosing your open source platform would be great, and exactly why we recommend those as the top headless CMS. Not only because of that, but because we've worked with these CMSs over a period of time. We're not saying that the other CMS will not work in tandem or will not work equally in respect to these, but this is what we have worked with over and over again, and has produced great results for us. So the list being: one is directors, the headless CMS backend for every custom build. Strappy, been in the market for quite long, and we've used it for quite a few projects. Payload is picking up greatly in the market right now. So these are the three CMSs that we believe. We don't want to give an exhaustive comparison or a sponsored ranking right at the end of the day. We want to give you what actually worked for us. So directors, Strappy, and Payload is the reliable option that we're looking at. Now, I understand you might also have questions about what kind of frameworks that we need to use. What is the right way to choose these CMSs for manufacturing? So let's get into it one by one. One of the important things to look at is your team structure. Are you developer focused at this point of time? Are you operations led, or are you like a mixed bunch of team which has both technical, business, or say non-technical people? If you are a developer focused team, you could probably use all the three of them will work greatly. Payload and directors works greatly as well. So if you have to do it, but all the three of them, Strappy, directors, Payload, will give you deep flexibility and developer freedom if you are one of those teams. If you're like an operations or IT led teams, directors is ideal. It offers no code friendly UI, integrates smoothly with existing infrastructure, so great for it. Mixed team, go for directors or Strappy. Right balance, developer gets the customizations, business user gets the user friendly dashboards, and managing content becomes very easy. Now let's look at evaluating it from a technical requirement, right? Many manufacturing, obviously, you know that a lot of the manufacturing businesses run on legacy systems, right? Like they run on WordPress or PHP systems, or they're on databases like MySQL or SQL Server. Obviously, in these kind of situations, right, like what we have seen and what we have done before, Director stands out. It connects directly to these databases without requiring a full data migration. So it layers as a modern, admin UI, and obviously you have APIs and permissions on the top of it. Now, let's assume that you need full customizations or complex content models. Now, in this case, right, Strappy and Payload are better suited, obviously. They support custom schemas, plugins, or APIs. I'm not saying directors won't do it, but this is great. We are our thing is not to say that this is not good, but our thing is to say that this actually is good. So it's not like the B cannot do it, but A does it better, is what we're saying. Schema level, when you look at schema level controls, right? Like obviously, schema level control will be built in access management. Payload enables you to define that access. Obviously, localization directly in the code. Great for teams treating content as code. So, yep, with strict compliance needs as well, obviously. Now, the other thing that you have to look at probably right now is the growth trajectory. If you are at the just at the beginning of a digital transformation, or are you like a mid-sized manufacturer expanding across locations, or are you like an enterprise level operations with engineering resources? So obviously, if you're enterprise level, it's obviously going to be like payload or directors. If you are mid-size, directors are strappy because you can handle complex content structures, multi-brand setups and stuff. Payload and directors for enterprises because of the security needed for robust and scalable digital platforms. It's worked well. And early stage digital transformation, obviously, directors is easiest to use. So in totality, right, directors is really good as a CMS, but obviously the other CMSs also comes in at different instances and different points. Uh, Now, features to look in for a CMS for manufacturing companies. Now, this is another very interesting thing to look at. Like, obviously, you will have to look at composability, you will have to look at user friendliness, you will have to look at performance, you will have to look at integration, you will have to look at content structuring. Now, when I'm talking about composability, right, obviously, a manufacturing CMS must mold to your operations, right? Whether it's managing spec sheets or PIM or dealer content, composable architecture enables the modular content that you have to be you can it'll help you model that easily, not the other way around, obviously. Now, the one user friendliness in the admin UI, obviously, most of the manufacturing companies not tech savvy, right? A visual and intuitive UI is very much required for, say, an operations team or a marketing team or a support team to manage content easily. Now, coming to performance and delivery optimizations, obviously, speed is one of the critical aspects of it. Manufacturers often see a large catalog, technical content getting delivered globally. A good CMS must deliver this at a very fast and reliable way. So obviously, that might be using APIs, CDNs, whatever it is, but that is one of the important key factors for it. Now, integration capabilities is very important. The CMS must be able to integrate with ERPs, PLMs, PIMs, CRMs, DAMs, anything of that matter, for the matter of fact. And also, content structuring and reusability is another factor that needs to be looked at. Manufacturers obviously have like uh, manufacturers might have like multiple brands or geographies or language, right, needed, which needs structured, reusable, and localized content. So the CMS must support flexible content relationships, hierarchies that it might have, or content versioning it might have. Similarly, we're looking at scalability without replatforming it. Obviously, as a business grows, adding new lines, new regions and brands. Obviously, the CMS must scale without having to fully rebuild it. So, directors, Strapi, and Pilot prove the scalability while retaining control over the infrastructure. Now, strong security and access controls is always needed. I'm not going to get into that. Adaptations, like this is quintessential again. I'm talking about. Uh, Obviously, we work with a lot of manufacturing company. Let's take an example of Unimake, which we have worked with. Rigid CMS like WordPress was being used. A CM we had to just migrate it to. Uh, Obviously, a lot of the manufacturers are very rigid. They've been using WordPress, so CMS should adapt to your business logic rather than the business adapting to CMS, right? Unimic wanted a custom PIM, like our client Unimic wanted a custom PIM. Choosing the wrong CMS would have forced them to, get into expensive licenses and compromised features. So obviously, directors we use directors. Directors is very flexible, more like a backend to build tailored PIM. We built a tailored PIM using directors. So one of them acts like a content system, the other one acts like a PIM. And I can actually show you the product selector as well. Uh, yes. So this is like a product selector that Unimic has that we have built. Um, you can see this. So this is one of the nice things that we've seen. But yeah, so yes, you should pick at the end of the day. Obviously, the key takeaway is your CMS should um, serve your business model. Obviously, not force your business to change. Correct. So that's one of the things. Uh, okay, the next thing that we are looking at right now, one of the most important aspects of the thing. So let me just pull this here. Pricing. Any businesses that come to us, right, like pricing is very important for them. Like they don't want to end up paying really high. They don't want to end up losing out on the commercials in terms of money that they're spending when they scale as well. So selecting the right headless CMS isn't just about the immediate cost that we're talking about. It's about also about long-term scalability, right? Manufacturers should um, see with the future growth. They have to assess it. They have to strategize it. Like what kind of API volumes are going to be there? What are the content complexity are going to be there? Will this CMS scale the way the business is scaling? So obviously, let's look at a real world example. Say, for example, um, a fast growing manufacturer having 5 million people who visit the website, 50 million API calls, 15 plus team members. Now, when you look at direct Strappy or say payload, right, it's almost on the similar lines. Obviously, payload and direct is being very neck to neck in terms of pricing, Strappy being a little more expensive than that, but obviously in the same range. These costs that we are representing here are basically approximations and based on the latest data that was available. So that's the thing. And I mean, it is up to the client at the end of the day as to what they want to choose and what works for them. For some clients payload was good, for some clients directives was good, for some strappy wanted it, they wanted strappy. For obviously it might vary based on the needs that you have at the end of the day. uh, so when another question is, when will the project start reaping benefits? Now obviously this is something which has to do with regards to a lot of numbers, and I don't, me explaining it here will not give you any kind of understanding. So I think it's better if you get into this in core. I understand each of the numbers here, like what works best and what is the final outcome, what is the profit margins that you can get, what is the return on investment that you can get out of all this. Now, what I can actually walk you through is the shortlisting vendors for a headless CMS. Obviously, there are certain checklists that you have to look at. Say, be it budget comparison, be it feature checklist. Say, for example, um, start by listing your top five platforms, right, and calculate the total cost of ownership for over 3 years. Say monthly or annual subscription fees that you have, or the setup fees that you have, the training and onboarding expenses that you have, or say integration expenses that you have. So that will give you like a good budgeting comparison. Like what is the minimal value of the pricing in terms of CMS? What is hefty for your pockets? Now let's look at the features. Second one is, there should be like must have for manufacturing, right? Then you will have to look at those aspects of it. Like for example, um, does the CMS support complex product data, like building that compatible? Is it compatible with PLM systems, say product lifetime lifecycle management systems, or say an ERP? Or does it give you like multi-language support? Does it have like granular permission levels? Does it have like enterprise grade security? So all of these things play a quintessential role. Now, this will give you like a feature comparison. Now, the third thing that you'll have to probably also do is try and do a free trial of all the three of this, right? Like, what works best for you? Is your team happy with the UI that it has? How does the uploading of content work? You have to get some internal users to work on it, and then see how that works. Okay. And the fourth thing is also about the reference calls. Like you could end up asking each vendor like what features are most useful in their context, what are the pain points, would they choose a CMS again, how responsive is the customer support. A lot of these questions has to be answered as well. Now you could probably do an internal voting with your team. Say for an example, IT team has their own technical fit and security that you look at. Marketing team will look for content flexibility. Sales will look for distributors or partner needs. Operations again will look at about product data management stuff, right? So you can do that again. Obviously, you can also do a lot of consultant review and other stuffs as well. But consult, you can always come to us for review as well. We help you unbiased. We'll help you what exactly works for you, because we work with multiple CMS, so we're not biased at all in terms of which CMSs you would use. So that is in a way how you could take one category and see what comes under it. See multiple categories and do a end-to-end comparison. Now, what are the final thoughts, like for manufacturing? In manufacturing, the decision to adopt a headless CMS is less about the trend, it's more about the enablings, like long-term scalability, operational cost efficiency, developer friendly. So these are things that you have to look at. I think we've already spoken about the framework. We have spoken about how you can shortlist vendors, how you can shortlist a CMS based on multiple factors. Now these are the things that you can look at. Okay. Now you can see that a lot of the companies, not only manufacturing, be it retail, be it any other industry, be it healthcare, be it tech, so many companies are using the headless CMSs for manufacturing, for headless CMSs. uh, Now, I know this could be a little overwhelming for you in terms of this thing, but let me give you some stats. 80% of the businesses that don't have headless architecture today say that they plan to implement in the next 2 years. So obviously, everybody is driving and getting and inclining towards headless CMS. 83% of the respondents who have implemented a Jamstack approach anticipate a lower TCO over the next 3 years. 86% of the marketers at large enterprises are frustrated with their current CMS, and these are not what we are saying. These are sources saying. After 3 years of, now listen to this. After 3 years of headless CMS, 582% ROI of the implementation. Can you imagine that? The kind of investment that you put into headless CMS, look at the return on it. 300% productivity and 6-month payback period. This is not what we are saying. This is a Forest report that is coming up. So in brief, right, like obviously after all this you still be confused. So there are so many things that we offer you. But let's look at the future of content marketing, content management in manufacturing, right? The CMS is no longer just a marketing tool, correct? It's an operational engine. Winners in 2025 and say beyond will treat content infrastructure as strategic IP, enabling everything from regional paths, see a multilingual content, to automated dealer onboarding. So everything will be great if you choose a CMS. Uh, Obviously, there are recommendations that we would give you. Directors remains a leading choice for us because we have done significant amount of work, be it data control, composability, platform extensibility, flexibility, every part of it. I think it combines great with other headless e-commerce as well. So that's like one of the top recommendations that we have today. But the question isn't about should we go headless. It should be about what CMS fits our scale, systems, and complexity. And we are here to do so for you. And this should be absolutely free for you, because you get like a 20 hours time with us, which you can spend with us, and we will help you gauge what works best for you. So choosing the right headless CMS as a manufacturer isn't about finding the platforms with the most bells and whistles. It's about finding the one that handles your complex product data, and we can do that. Now, look at this. Look at this from a different perspective, right? Like you will have two options, correct? Breaking your head trying to figure out the trial and error, maybe even building a solution, having an in-house team, training them. Lot of things, lot of headaches. Like it's a massive distraction from what you actually do. Now, how about this? An option two, where you can focus on what you do and you can give us what we do well. So obviously we do this well, we do the CMS part well, we do the development of this whole thing well. So while we handle the technical complexity end to end, you can focus on your business. So here's why, and that's exactly why I think A lot of the manufacturers choose option two, that is to give us the whole control of this, and they focus on their business, because our developers are not generalists, as I mentioned before. Uh, we are hyper specialized in headless CMS e-commerce platform. We've done it over and over again. This is our bread and butter. At the end of the day, every developer is handpicked, rigorously trained, and knows how to handle manufacturing systems. So with that, I think this is like a small thing which talks about whatever I said right now. So 9 months later, you don't want to regret, right? Like, we should have chosen the right team for it. So, having said this, why us? Obviously, because of ultra fast development that we can get you, because we've experienced doing so. We get it shipped really soon. You wouldn't have any kind of risk with us, be it staffing, be it training, be it management. We give you that guarantee. We have a in-house team. We work on a certain process and protocols. We make sure that we take full ownership of the delivery. We take responsibility for the quality, time, and the results, and we make sure that we give you the utmost satisfaction that we can. So we're offering you 20 hours of free consultation to help you find the right CMS solutions. You can utilize this. No strings attached, just solid advice from people who have actually built these systems. Contact us today. Let's get your manufacturing e-commerce platform built right at the first time. If this helped you clarify things, hit that like, share button. Your manufacturing CMS challenges in the comments. You can tell us about it, and subscribe for more content that actually is related to this industrial world. See you in the next one. Thank you.